A steam plant using a rebuilt Stuart 10V steam engine, Part 8. The steam plant is now completed and it performs very well. The safety valve was changed for a different type from Cleveland Steam, but it was too noisy. I also show something that you must never do. I received a message from a viewer asking why I use silicone rubber tubing for the exhaust piping. The answer to this is simple. It is the way that Cleveland Steam's equipment is designed. It's designed to use silicone rubber tubing and not copper piping and fittings. Here's a bit of a déjà vu from a previous episode. I'm using the stainless steel funnel that I bought at the supermarket, which I modified, to fill the boiler. Now that there is an engine attached to the steam tap, I need to give it a bit of help to evacuate the air from the boiler as the water goes in. Time for a very simple and easy top tip time. To clear the air from the boiler to let the water in, I opened the steam tap on the boiler and turned the engine in its normal direction of rotation. This actually pumped out the air and let the water in. Very simple when you think about it. This makes for a much quicker method of filling the boiler. And in no time at all, it was full. I removed the funnel and now I'm fitting a different type of safety valve. This is one that Jerry from Cleveland Steam sent me. The original safety valve worked fine, but you could get into trouble by turning the gas up too high and the safety valve was unable to clear the excess pressure. I'll see if this safety valve's any better. What I'm doing here is closing the steam valve because it's time to light the twin gas burners. In a previous episode, I struggled to get these burners to light, but then the penny dropped. After fitting the gas tap to the gas canister, I opened the valve a very small amount. Then I waited for about 10 seconds for the unlit gas to fill the firebox area. Then I lit it, and with a very small explosion, both of the burners lit. If you want to see a different way of lighting the burners, please watch a previous episode. With the burners lit, now all I have to do is wait until the boiler raises enough steam to run the engine. This is the best time to lubricate the engine. Initially I filled the boiler with water, and in no time at all the boiler looks like it's overfull, but it isn't. Already the needle on the pressure gauge has lifted. This is an amazing boiler. It's 2:45 by my Mallard workshop clock, and believe it or not, it only took around 5 minutes for the pressure gauge to lift. The gas burners underneath this boiler produce a lot of heat, and before 3 o'clock, this new safety valve started to make a horrible noise. This reminds me of a Stuart safety valve. Also, the safety valve is blowing off at too high a pressure. I adjusted the safety valve so that the engine blew off before 60 psi, and this still provides more than enough steam to make the engine run like an express train. Here you can see the exhaust from the engine coming out of the chimney pipe. This is not the quietest number 10 I've ever heard. It's not particularly well made, but it runs well. Here I'm showing how to empty the condenser. First of all, nip the pipe, remove the copper rivet from the end and release your grip on the pipe. This will drain the condensate and oil into a suitable receptacle. I'm about to show something in this video that you must never ever do. I've dropped the pressure down to 0. Do not assume that when the engine stops entirely, the pressure has all gone. Watch this. The temperature of the steam inside the boiler is now lower because it's at almost atmospheric pressure. But doing what I'm showing here is the very height of stupidity. I knew what I was doing and I saw it coming and moved my hand just at the right time. Here's an action replay. I did not do this stupidly. I knew what was going to happen. I've seen it many times before, starting with the mammods I had when I was a child. In this clip I'm refitting the previous safety valve. You don't need to tighten this with a spanner, it has an O-ring underneath it. I relit the burners using very low gas pressure as previously shown. Because the boiler was still very hot from the previous run, raising steam was a formality. The needle on the pressure gauge started to rise almost immediately. And once again, while steam was being raised, I decided to lubricate all of the moving parts of the engine. This is of vital importance. Steam engines use a total loss oil system, and the faster they go, the faster the oil spins off the bearing parts. I'm still using proper steam engine lubricating oil, not motor oil and not machine oil. With these small engines, which run very hot because they are small, you can actually use steam oil for the bearing parts. In this clip, I would like to demonstrate that the steam valve is extremely hot. Yet the steam pipe, which was lagged using string as shown in the previous episode, is not hot at all. You can touch it without burning yourself. Not so with the steam valve. This is the ideal. The safety valve isn't blowing off, but the pressure gauge is registering 60 psi. The engine is running beautifully, albeit a little bit noisy because mechanically, as I mentioned earlier, it's not brilliant. If you watch my series, a Stuart 10V rebuild, you can see how I took it from what it was to what it is now. I do like a challenge, and it's good to see it running well. I'm going to stop the narration at this point and run the video to the end. The final video in the series will just be the steam engine running without any narration. Stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my main Steam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.